Good morning, class. John Paul Brandt here to talk about the two sources I found on Oxford Database. The first one is titled Southern White Ministers and the Civil Rights Movement. A book was written in 2018 and published by New York University Press by Elaine Ellen Leschreck, in which she talks about the violence occurring in the South among denominations and ministers over the issue of desegregating schools. And she begins by talking about Brown versus the Board of Education desegregation decision in 1954 and the ensuing violence that took place at Clinton High School in Tennessee, at Central High School in Little Rock, Arkansas, at the University of Mississippi in Alabama, at Clemson in South Carolina, and at Tuskegee High School in Alabama. She said the groups were popping up to support desegregation, and things were slowly changing. It points to the governing boards of major religious denominations changing their tune on the issue of desegregation, and 28 young ministers of Mississippi Methodist Conference speaking up. And she points out different groups like the Southern White Ministers for Racial Justice, Clarence Jordan's Interracial Forum in America, and in Americus, Georgia, which was his road sign stand was bombed, Howard McLean's Christian Action Council, and W.W. Finlatour's Preaching Racial Equality from the Pullen Baptist Church in Raleigh, North Carolina. And she says in the last chapter, these ministers came to apologize for their support of slavery and segregation. The second source I found is called School Desegregation, Trouble Ahead by Carolyn Renee DuPont in 2013. And this book talks about the arguments between Protestants, Baptists, Methodists, and Presbyterians. In chapter 4, chapter 4 is titled A Strange and Serious Christian Heresy, where she goes into the biblical quotes for and against the issue of desegregation. She said that pamphlets and articles and tracts were being spread out throughout the South in support of segregation, with ministers reporting to the curse of Ham, the Tower of Babel, and Israel as a racially exclusive people. And even Genesis 9:18-27, the segregationists talked about Noah's curse on his grandson. Deuteronomy 7:1-6, they say God tells the children of Israel, "Ye shall not make marriage with surrounding tribes." And another counter argument that popped up was John Creighton Satterfield at Millsap College in 1958 forum, where he quoted Paul, Acts 17:26, "God has made of one blood all nations of men for to dwell upon the face of the earth." And there you have a counter argument. Bible arguments back and forth for and against segregation or desegregation of the races. She sums up her closing arguments in the book by saying that segregationist folk theory functioned as an orthodoxy that came together, that weaved together biblical literalism, political conservatism, and segregation, elevating all three into a revered status. He said that according to the Southern folk theory, they believed that God created a natural world and an ordained social world with the belief that God smiled on his racial hierarchy. So there you have it. Just a little bit about battles that took place in the South over the issue of racial equality. Thank you.